the back, watch it fly. Baycats.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, time for the starting lineup for your Barrie Baycats, managed by Josh Matlow. Batting first in center field, number 95, Noel McGarry Doyle. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 35, Malik Williams. Batting third at first base, number 20, Nolan McIbroda. Batting fourth in left field, number 6, Tristan Clark. Batting fifth in right field, number 4, Willie Garcia. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 28, Noah Hull. Batting seventh at second base, number 88, Austin Boylan. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 44, Tyler Plumpton. And batting ninth at shortstop, number 0, Francisco Hernandez. On the mound this afternoon for your Baycats, number 30, Juan Benitez. Here are the umpires for this afternoon's contest. Calling the balls and strikes, we have Jared Merkley. Handling first base is Ryan Jackson, and at third base is Don Michelle. Fans, at this time, we ask you to please rise if you are able to, and kindly remove your hats for our national anthem. Ready? Okay. Please welcome the choir from Andrew Hunter Elementary School to sing our national anthem. Take it away, guys.
We stand our guard for thee, thy keep our land, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard.
What a great job by those young boys and girls today, and singing it loud and proud, not shy at all. And, of course, it's a Junior Baycats Saturday afternoon here at the ballpark, so a lot of kids here today to enjoy this game between the Cardinals and the Baycats.
Yeah, no better way to start it off with the kids' choir, Andrew Hunter Elementary School. Very, very, very good. You see a lot at Barrie Colts games. They tend to have a choir at do the national anthem before every game. I think that's a tradition we maybe should start picking that up too.
Absolutely love it, and a lot of moms and dads here with those kids enjoying that moment before the game today, I am sure. All right, let's take a look at our lineup for Chris Piano's Hamilton Cardinals. Our first look at them here in Barrie for the 2025 season. And the lineup is as follows. Shortstop Brandon Nickel leads off. Tyler Duncan, a familiar name, in center field. He bats second. Jonathan Salazzo, a familiar name but unfamiliar colors today for Baycat fans, seeing him with his new team for the first time. He's batting third at third. Matt Hillebrand is the DH and cleanup man. July Bettini, catcher, batting fifth. Number 6 hitter is Yulki Pena. He's in right field. 7-8-9 is Tanner Rempel at first base. Nico Kakekos in left field, and Tommy Reyes Cruz at second base, batting ninth.
Making his second start of the season for the Baycats. On the mound is Juan Benitez. He made the one start the opening night loss to Toronto. He's had one relief appearance since. He's gone 6 innings so far this year. He's allowed 4 earned runs on 8 hits, so this might be a good opportunity for Juan Benitez. Really get some things going. His last outing was in relief, only 1 inning, so trying to get stretched out as many of the relievers are, or Dominican starters are for this Baycats team so far this year.
And the weather here in Barrie feels like it's been going in reverse. It's supposed to get warmer as the season goes on, isn't it? It's been the opposite for the first few weeks of the season. Just 10 degrees right now for our game time temperature.
I was having a conversation with Tyler Duncan before the game, and he was saying that this is absolutely insane. And I mentioned to him that the opening night here, I don't remember there being leaves on the trees. That's how far back it seems we are in terms of the weather and all the summer weather, so I guess it's still on the horizon.
Well, June begins tomorrow. We can only hope some warmer temperatures come along with it. Pretty brisk wind as well today. That's the other factor. It's a strong wind from right to left and gusts of over 40 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, I could see some up to 60.
So those fly balls, we'll keep an eye on those. They could be a little bit tricky this afternoon. Home plate umpire, Jared Merkley. It's Ryan Jackson at first, Don Michelle at third, and the first pitch on the way from Juan Benitez. And we are underway here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's a 4:10 first pitch. 1-0 the count to leadoff man Brandon Nickel. A high fly ball, center field. That's Noel McGarry-Doyle. To his right, makes the easy catch, one away here on the top of the first.
Let's give the defense for the Barrie Baycats behind Juan Benitez. Tristan Clark back in left field getting the start. He seems to really pick up that spot more with Noel McGarry-Doyle also getting the start in center field now. Willie Garcia is over and right on the infield. Noah Hull gets the start at third base. Francisco Hernandez moves over from second to short. Austin Boylan, his IBL debut at second base. Noah Macabroda over at first. And Tyler Plumpton's back behind the plate for Juan Benitez.
I think you were telling me, Julius, you were down at field level when Austin got the news that he was going to be making the start today in his first IBL game. High fly ball, shallow left field. Clark, a couple steps over, makes the catch. 2 fly ball outs here. So that's got to be a thrill when you know you're going to get into the lineup eventually, but it's just a matter of time, and Austin must have had a sense that this day was going to be coming sooner rather than later.
So the way it happened was the junior guys are usually kind of taking BP last, and he was out in the outfield shagging balls, and Josh Matlow called him over and said, "Hey, why are you hitting?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And Josh said, "Oh, you're in the starting lineup."
That's kind of the equivalent to the AAA manager calling the player in and saying, "Hey, the big club called you up.
Exactly.
Pack your bags." I guess in the IBL, that's the next closest similarity we would have is a rookie being told he's making his debut.
Really cool moment. For him, it was a question, not an if, but when.
Into right field, a 2-hopper, and it's a base hit. Cardinals get a runner on here with 2 out off the bat of Jonathan Salazzo. So there he is as a Hamilton Cardinal. We remember him as a Toronto Maple Leaf for the majority of his career, but it's actually his second stint with this organization. That's how long he's been in the Intercounty Baseball League.
Yeah, he played with the Cardinals before his time with Toronto, but even now, he was telling me before the game that it still looks weird on him to wear the red. He says he was looking down a lot and is like, "Where's all the navy blue and the white?"
Searching for your uniform on game day could be a bit of a challenge. It's not like he signed with the Royals or another team with similar colors. Matt Hildebrandt, the DH. The big lefty waggles the bat. Hits this down the line foul. Hildebrandt's been in this league a long time as well. One of these old school hitters with the skin on wood, no batting gloves. Takes a pitch and it misses. It's a 1-2 count.
Very much reminds me of Evan Gattis. Remember Evan Gattis from the Houston Astros? Very much the same, kind of similar look of a ball player, but no batting gloves.
On the ground to short. Francisco Hernandez will step on the bag, and it's in time for the out. So they force out the runner at second, and down go the Cardinals in the top of the first inning. Take a short break and return. Scoreless here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Welcome back to Athletic Kulture Stadium. Bottom of the first is brought to you by Park Place, Barrie's Grand Slam destination for dining, shopping, and fun. See you after the game.
Baycats starting lineup features Noel McGarry-Doyle in the leadoff spot, Malik Williams DHing and batting second, Nolan Macabrota in the 3 spot at first base. Tristan Clark hitting cleanup, Willie Garcia in right field bats 5th, Noah Hull at 3rd bats 6th. 7-8-9 is Austin Boylan at second base, Tyler Plumpton the catcher, and Francisco Hernandez at shortstop today. First pitch off the glove of the catcher.
Freesis Adamas making his first IBL start. Not a regular starter in his pro career in 2023 in the Frontier League. He made 19 appearances, none of them starts, at a 4.47 ERA and just over 54 innings pitched.
And our lineups, offense and defense, brought to you by Sports Medicine, the official clinic of the Barrie Baycats. Freesis Adamas from the stretch. Winds up, and now he delivers, and it's inside. Noel McGarry-Doyle made his return to the Baycats here on Thursday night against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. It was Pack the Park night and a great crowd on hand to welcome him back to the IBL Ball Club here in 2025.
Mentioned it on the broadcast Thursday, but the angst among the fans was just as much as the angst amongst the rest of the roster, waiting for him to finally make his return to the team, and he delivered right away.
Certainly did. And he's back in the top of the order here this afternoon. Count is 3-1. Adamas deals, swing and a miss. Good hard cut by McGarry-Doyle, couldn't connect, and the count is full. Mentioned the pitchers' duel last night between 2 of the IBL's best, Frank Garces and Owen Boone. Ball 4, McGarry-Doyle is aboard. The matchup today, Freesis Adamas and Juan Benitez.
Give the defense for the Hamilton Cardinals. Behind Freesis Adamas, it's Nico Kikados in left field, Tyler Duncan, the former MVP, in center. Yoki Pena gets the start in right. On the infield, Jonathan Salazzo at third. Brendan Nickel at short. Tommy Reyes-Cruz, another new addition for the Cardinals this year. He's at second. And Tanner Rempel's at first. And July Vittini, the big home run last night, he's behind the plate yet again.
Yeah, a lot of new additions on this Cardinals ball club. Owen Boone in just his second game with the Cardinals last night in that game against Barrie. Boone and Garces both went 8 innings. Boone allowed just 1 run, Garces 3. That was a scoreless tie right into the bottom of the 7th inning.
The addition of Owen Boone for me for the Cardinals, as much as Fernando Rodney is really cool and former major leaguer, right? That's kind of the big ticket. When I saw they signed Owen Boone, that told me that this team is for real.
A lot of insiders have this club projected to finish near the top of the standings here in 2025. Big question mark for me, I guess, would be just looking up the lineup up and down and whether the depth is there or not for this team to score the runs that they need. But the pitching was good last season and even better, in my opinion, here in 2025. McGarry-Doyle leads.
Thomas taking a really long time between pitches here.
Here's his second offering on the way to Malik Williams, and he hits it over the second baseman into right field for a base hit. McGarry Doyle holds up. 2 on for the Baycats with a pair of singles for McGarry Doyle and Williams.
Sounds like Williams broke his bat on that, just going kind of inside out in a high fastball, but makes nice work of it, sends it over Tommy Reyes Cruz into right field.
Nolan McAbroda's on the plate.
Can't remember the last time Malik Williams hit in the 2 spot, but I feel like it's a good fit for him.
Yeah, he's always sort of been 3, 4, 5. Brandon Hernandez has been in the number 2 spot most of the season. He's not in the lineup today. And brother Francisco is handling shortstop duties in his absence.
Top of Josh Matlow's lineup today, really alternating in front of Freesis Adamas, going lefty-righty, lefty-righty.
Pitches inside, count is 1-1. So Barrie 1-4 now with the win over Chatham Kent here on Thursday night. Losses to Toronto, Welland, London, and then these Cardinals here on the road last night. So not the start to the season anybody here in Barrie envisioned through 5 games. Coming off a championship year last season and a playoff run where they went 10-0.
I couldn't find a year in where schedules are of the IBL seasons remain logged or archived where the Baycats went even 0-2 to start a season.
Wow.
That goes back at least to 2010.
It's pretty impressive. Two balls, 1 strike. And it's fouled off the top of the screen, left side. Well, oftentimes with veteran ball clubs, it takes a while to get going. Some teams are a little slower out of the gate than others. And I mean, it is a relatively short season here in the IBL, so you don't want to wait too long before your offense starts to heat up. But for the Baycats, really only one strong game offensively where the lineup is produced top to bottom, and that was the Thursday night game here against Chatham. Foul back again.
And I'll bring up my conversation with Tyler Duncan again because he kind of shared the same sentiment. He says, like, it doesn't matter if you go 0-10 to start your season. As long as you don't finish last in this league, you're making the playoffs, and then it's a brand new season, clean slate.
You can look at it that way. It doesn't matter. All teams but one are getting in, that's for sure. But you still want to have a strong season. But ultimately, how you do in the playoffs is all that matters, right?
Yeah.
2-2 on the way. Adamas with a pitch. Laying off is Macabroda, and is able to work the count full now, 3-2. Great at bat here. Back-to-back leadoff singles here. Noel McGarry Doyle and Malik Williams. 2 on, nobody out. Freezes Adamas. Would love a ground ball here. Middle infield is ready. Brandon Nickel at short. Tommy Reyes Cruz at second. They are shifted over slightly to the right. Here's the pitch, and it's sprayed foul.
Adamas has really mixed in his pitching arsenal. A lot of different variations to start this ball game. It's tough for these hitters. They can't really be sitting on an off speed early in the count. And McAbro's done a nice job bringing it full, bringing up that pitch count along with it.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and another foul ball. Macabroda really battling in this at bat.
He must be seeing the ball really well out of the hands because he seems to be on those pitches right away.
Hitters love these overcast skies, cloudy days.
Adamas with more of a change-up on that last pitch. I would assume he's probably going to go back to the fastball.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Adamas looks in. Comes to the set position. And the payoff pitch on the way. And he just glances it off the top of his bat. Foul. The runners advanced, so I guess it didn't hit his bat. Let's see. What's the ruling here? It was a 3-2 count. Looked like a little check swing foul to me. The runners were in motion.
Well, Merkley rang him up. Looked like a foul tip off the glove of Vittini's glove. Off of Vittini's glove, pardon me. And back to the screen, that would be a foul ball.
Certainly Nolan would know if it hit his bat or not.
Yeah, they call this one foul after discussion. So, right call made in the end. But gotta wonder what Merkley saw in the moment to ring him up on that play.
If you're a base runner, you have to be really alert in that situation as well, because it is an opportunity to advance if it is a strikeout. So the situation will remain as it was and as it has been for the last several pitches. A 3-2 count, nobody out. Runners lead. Adames with the pitch. Swing and a miss. Finally got him on strikes. It was a lot of work, but there's one out in the inning.
Yeah, Adames finally brought the heat on that high fastball, and Nagamrota, as well as he was seeing it out of the hand, just couldn't catch up to it.
So Adames had to throw a lot of pitches just to get that first out. And the big bat of Tristan Clark now comes to the dish. Clark, as we mentioned, hit one off the right field light standard last night at Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium. Takes the first pitch inside.
He went 2 for 3 in the game. Also was able to work a walk, so you can tell he's really starting to heat up, and that's why he earned that promotion from the 7th spot up to the cleanup spot for Josh Matlow's club.
RBI situation for him here. He fouls it back to the screen. Clark, Garcia, Boylan, and Francisco Hernandez, all first-year Baycats in the lineup here today for Josh Matlow. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. Gets a piece, fouls it off, 1-2.
I think this is a big test for this club because without guys like Hayden Jaco, Adam Ott, even Ryan Rio not in today's lineup, you know, that's a test for Josh Matlow's team to say, hey, what can we do without those guys, you know, if something else will come up later in the season where they weren't to be available.
Yeah, we'll see a lot more of those names that you just mentioned as the season goes on. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the inning. Tough inning with a high pitch count already for Freese's Adames. Kicks and deals. Popped up, first base side, heads up to all the fans, and it's over the screen into the trees. Got to watch out for those foul balls behind the seating area.
Yeah, and a lot of fans loaded up on this right side with all the inflatable activities and such today with Junior Baycats Day. So a lot of open space on the left side of the ballpark. It's time to kind of see the imbalance of where the fans are sitting, but that's a normal occurrence here, especially on these Saturday afternoon ball games.
Of course, the beverages are served down the first base line as well, down in right field. So yeah, you're right. That seems to be where all the action is. Well, that's the Baycats side of the field as well. Swing and a miss by Clark. 2 strikeouts for Adames now.
Yeah, got him on the breaking ball. He's got a nasty slider, Adames, and used it well there against Tristan Clark.
It's a Junior Baycats Saturday, so a lot of these kids got free baseball cards on the way through, and players often like to stop and sign those cards for kids after the game. So if you have youngsters who love baseball, make sure you bring them out to one of our Junior Baycats Saturdays here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Always a lot of fun. Willie Garcia. Former major leaguer. Spent 1 season with the Chicago White Sox.
White Sox counting 1. We talked about that with Gil Rondon and
that's true.
On Thursday night.
Yeah, I didn't mention. I got my picture taken with
Gil
Rondon after the game. Chatham Kent here on Thursday night, and boy, we had some fun talking not just White Sox stuff, but baseball stories with him. He's been around this game for a long time and Played 2 different major league seasons in the 1970s.
You can tell with guys like Gil Rondon how passionate they are about the game because they just keep going on, and I love that kind of thing.
You would love to just sit down and have maybe 2 beers with him and just hear baseball stories nonstop for an hour with a guy like him.
Because he's got playing stories, he's got coaching stories galore. He's a former coach with the Blue Jays as well.
High fastball. Garcia held up as they appealed to first. He did not go, and it's a 2-1 count. Noah Hull is on deck. We should hop on Retro Sheet at some point and see if Willie Garcia ever faced Fernando Rodney in the big leagues.
I'm sure he has. 44 games, I mean...
Probably at some point.
Rodney was playing in the American League at the time, I believe.
To think what team he would have been. It's 2017, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the Tampa Bay Rays?
I'm thinking the Rays.
Here he is with his cell phone. He's going to look it up, folks.
I'm on a baseball reference mission.
High pop-up. Right field side, and it's over near the inflatables. Another 3-2 count here for Freezes Adames.
Arizona Diamondbacks for Fernando Rodney, 2017.
Okay. So that would be a AL-NL matchup if those 2 teams played at all. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners go. Swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts for Freezes Adames, and the Baycats strand 2 in the bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
The second inning of play is presented by
Top of the second inning is scoreless between the Cardinals and the Baycats. And we have our sideline reporter, Maddie Gale, who's going to check in with us shortly. Maddie, go ahead.
Willie Garcia from the Baycats was telling me that yesterday the Cardinals were throwing him good pitches. The other teams know he can hit home runs and make big plays. He told me that the good days are coming, and he's been doing workouts and consistently going to the batting cages with the Hernandez brothers. Something you may not be able to tell from the broadcast, but he has an arm tattoo of Naruto, and he told me this is what motivates him to never give up and keep playing. He's definitely starting to settle in on the Baycats lineup.
Very cool. Thank you for that report. Like all of these guys, sometimes it just takes a few games to get going, and we know he's going to make some pretty big contributions as this season unfolds.
Yeah, relatively slow start for him, but he knows that he's going to pick it up.
Hit to second base, Austin Boylan. His first put out of his IBL career, 1 down. So here comes Yulki Pena.
Right fielder number 12, Yoki Pena.
Each team with a hit. We're scoreless, top of the second inning. Tanner Rempel on deck to face Juan Benitez.
Pena just 1 for 6 so far this year, but he has 3 RBI already. 5 walks, so he's not unable to get on base, that's for sure.
Drove in 2 big runs with a single last night. This one hits a center field for a base hit. So the hot hitting Pena gets aboard here on the top of the second inning. That gave Hamilton a 3-0 lead after 7, and it ended up being all the Cardinals needed offensively last night. Baycats got the home run by Tristan Clark. They scratched out a run in the top of the 9th inning, and that was as close as they could come.
Pretty crazy to think that Frank Garces is 0-2 to start this season.
Pitched well. Just on the wrong side of a low score last night.
Yeah, had the complete game, but still took the loss. We had a little bit of a debate on this on Thursday, but how much of that pitching matchup do you think is maybe one of the best in IBL history? Because it's not the first time, but
boy, yeah, in recent years for sure. Benitez checks the runner. Well, we had Claudio Custodio and Frank Garces with a really big pitching matchup here a couple of years ago. Guelph Royals. In the dirt, and the runner goes back. Tanner Rempel, the first baseman and number 7 hitter, looks down at his third base coach.
Rempel still looking for his first hit of the season. Just his second game, though.
Fouled off at home plate. Cardinals finished 6th last year, 18-24. Their pitching was really, really good. Better than London, better than Chatham-Kent in terms of runs allowed, yet finished behind them in the standings. They just lost a lot of low-scoring, close games. The lineup wasn't deep enough. Lost their first-round playoff series to the London Majors in 4 games. This year off to a 2-1 start, but just 12 runs scored in those 3 games. So there's a swing and a miss, strike 3, brought to you by IMP North. 2 down, and here's Nico Kakekos.
For the Cardinals last year, they really struggled in those close games, 2-7 in 1-run ball games in 2024.
Well, again, it just begs the question, despite pitching that could possibly dominate the league, will the bats be there this season? Otherwise, you're going to have to win a lot of 3-2, 4-2 games. This one into center field, base hit, and into third with a head first slide is Pena. 2 on for the Cardinals with 2 out in the second inning.
Noel McGarry-Doyle thought about making the play at third base because he took the hop as if he was going to make the throw, but decided against it, just opting to hit the cutoff man Austin Boylan at second base. And don't want to kind of force an error right off the hop and put your team in a bad situation early on.
Third hit of the game for the Cardinals. And they will try to get on the board here with runners on the corners and 2 away. Benitez to Reyes Cruz on the ground. And it gets past the first baseman. And it's into right field for a base hit. An RBI single for Reyes Cruz. Cardinals lead 1-0.
Reyes Cruz, kind of an underrated addition to this Cardinals team, is with the London Majors last year and was one of their better offensive hitters. I know him and former Baycat Victor Plaz were very good friends, and they were on the majors last year. I think he can provide a really nice bat for the Cardinals throughout this year if he can keep that going.
Nice diving attempt there by Macabrota. He was maybe in a couple steps further than normal. Blocked by Plumpton at the plate, so 2 on for the Cardinals now. They draw first blood, 1-0 Hamilton. This is the first road game for the Cardinals here in 2025. All 3 games they've played so far have been at home.
Yeah, the rainouts had something to do with that, I'm sure.
Last week's games in Welland and Toronto were both postponed, and the Friday home game against Chatham-Kent was washed out as well. So they've got 3 games that need to be rescheduled. Baycats had one rescheduled game from inclement weather last week. And this one hit to center field. Clark takes a couple steps back, looks up, makes the catch, and that will do it. So the Cardinals get a run, and it's 1-0 Hamilton. We played an inning and a half here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 Hamilton.
Highview Contracting Group in Barrie and Simcoe County, offering award-winning hardscape, interlocking, pools, excavation, and more. Call 705-985-7669 or highviewcontracting.ca.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Second inning of play brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate. Servicing Simcoe region for over a decade. Yeah, only a high of 11 in Barrie today, so it's going to be like this all across the city.
First pitch swinging is Hull. Gets it to left field. The wind blowing it across to the left, but playing it perfectly. I was just tracking him with it. Back that way.
Second baseman number 88,
Austin. After giving up back-to-back singles to Noel, Gary Doyle, and Lee Williams. He settled down nicely. Struck out 3 in a row to get out of damage in the first. And then there's Austin Boylan in his first IBL at bat. Taking tipsy as his walk-up song.
Yeah, he told me that in the off-season. I asked a bunch of the junior players what their walk-up songs were going to be, and he said that, and it kind of shocked me. I didn't really take it for a walk-up song, but I think it works.
Well, as you know, I DJ a lot of weddings,
yeah,
special events, and that song is requested so much. Everybody just loves that song. I never thought of it as a walk-up song.
Neither did I. But country seems to be the go-to genre for a lot of players.
You want to be anything but tipsy when you're at home. If it doesn't work for him, I'm sure he'll change it up soon enough. These players are very superstitious.
Yeah.
Ben Mike.
One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Lays off, low and away, 2-2.
Thomas likes to use that slider against righties quite often. Didn't fool Boylan, though.
Veteran catcher Tyler Plumpton on deck. It's a 2-2 count. Swing and a miss. Boylan chases the high fastball. 4 strikeouts now for Freeze's Adamas. And he is humming along here, having retired 5 straight.
You know, for him being in his IBL debut as well, he's really been impressive so far. Just allowed the 2 base runners to start this game, Gary Doyle with the walk and Williams with the single. But he's retired 5 straight with 4 strikeouts now.
This is the 3rd in 4 games. 4 games in 4 days for the Baycats. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Something we don't see on the IBL schedule a whole lot for many teams. It's sometimes the case with rescheduled games, but these are 4 scheduled games in 4 days for Barrie. That will be an early bedtime for these fellas tonight as they have to get ready for the Kitchener Panthers on the road tomorrow afternoon.
There's actually a few times on the schedule. I think there's one more time where the Baycats have 4 games in 4 days, but a lot of 3 games in 3 days throughout this year. Not a lot of early week games for Barrie.
1-1 on the ground foul down the third base side. Cardinals host Guelph tomorrow 2:05 at Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium. Reed Duffy, Neil Srivastava, and our friends from Cable 14 in Hamilton will have that one for us. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch to Plumpton. On the ground, third base. Salazzo, long throw, but an easy one for the veteran. He's got it. And plenty of time for the out. Baycats go 3 up, 3 down, 6 straight retired by Adamas. And we've played 2 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. 1-0 Cardinals. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV Barrie, and Cable 14 Hamilton.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp. See you this summer!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Juan Benitez and the Barrie Baycats trailing 1-0 to the Hamilton Cardinals as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Tyler Duncan will lead it off. And finally, we're starting to see some sunshine at the ballpark.
That is a welcome sight because it is a chilly, breezy day.
I noticed you got your hood up already. Obviously,
I need it.
no longer concerned about your hair game for the rest of the day.
No.
And you were laughing as I took my final swig of coffee, which turned into an ice cap temperature long ago.
Yeah, you told me that you couldn't believe you finished it, and I agree. I can't believe you finished it either.
You can tell from the expression on my face. Tyler Duncan was the Home Run Derby champ last year, defeating Josh Garton at Welland Stadium. He'll never forget that. Swings and misses. Count as 1-1.
And the great thing is he enters what might be a chance for him to defend his title because Hamilton is hosting the All-Star game this year.
That's true. Wouldn't that be a thrill to do that at home? Hits this one weakly to second. Boylan, the throw, just in time for the out. So Duncan 0 for 2 today, and here's Jonathan Salazzo, another perennial home run derby threat.
Yeah, I think he came into that as the favorite last year because he was in the derby as well, representing the Maple Leafs. A lot of people were shocked that he was taken out early on.
Just taking a look back at my notes from that afternoon, Duncan took down Jake Sanford and then Seth Strong of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. I mean, two pretty prolific home run hitters there. This one hit high and deep to right field, and that is long gone. Jonathan Salazzo going yard for the Cardinals. A solo shot, it's 2-0.
Right on cue, as we were talking about the home run derby, Jonathan Salazzo hits an absolute no-doubter, and he knew it right off the bat. Had an opportunity to look at his own ball that sailed well into the trees at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
Of course, he played at Christie Pitts in Toronto for many, many years, but doesn't need those short outfield dimensions to hit home runs by any means. And that was a moonshot in any ballpark. Well beyond the right field scoreboard. Hildebrandt right back to the mound, but Benitez scoops it up, takes his time, makes the toss, and it's there, 2 away.
First home run of the season for Salazzo. So first as a Cardinal since 2014. His last year with the Hamilton Cardinals before this one, over 10 years ago.
That's a lot of baseball between home runs for this franchise. Pretty incredible. July Vittini hit a home run yesterday. That's with the bases empty and 2 out here. Checks his swing. And it's a ball and a strike. Called strike, and it's 1-2.
Juan Benitez starting to pick up the pace here a little bit. Gave up that run in the second. Maybe that home run sent a little bit more of a message.
Wanted that call, didn't get it, just off the plate.
That looked very similar to the called strike 1 pitch ago.
Not close enough for home plate umpire Jared Merkley. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Called strike 3. It's brought to you by IMP North. And that'll do it for Hamilton, but the home run by Jonathan Salazzo gives them a 2-run lead through 2.5. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Bottom of the third, brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
It's a 2-0 Hamilton lead. The run on the second off Juan Benitez and a solo home run by Jonathan Salazzo, and now they will come, or the Baycats will come to bat now in the bottom of the third with a number 9 hitter, Francisco Hernandez, at the plate. First pitch swinging, hits it to left center field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Held up there for a long time, but it fell right in the perfect spot with Duncan and Katos converging. Neither of them could get there in time. Baycats get their third base runner of the afternoon.
Hernandez took a very aggressive turn around first base. That's how long that ball stayed in the air. He had an opportunity to maybe go for 2 and have a hustle double, but would have been too risky with how close it was to second base.
Noel McGarry-Doyle singled. Got no farther than second, though, in the bottom of the first inning. Hernandez with the lead. Does not go. First pitch, and that's rocked to right center field. That ball is back, and it drops for extra bases. Rounding up to third now goes Hernandez. He'll hold, and the ball gets away. He'll take an extra 90 feet and score. Barrie's on the board. So Noel McGarry-Doyle drives in the run.
That looked like it had an opportunity to go. Maybe the wind kind of pushed that ball down from potentially leaving the ballpark, but great hustle from McGarry-Doyle and heads up base running from Francisco Hernandez, capitalizing off what might be scored an error in the end and getting Barrie on the board.
Malik Williams, the DH, to the plate now, and McGarry-Doyle at second base, nobody out. Two-1 Cardinals. We are in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch, and this one's hit to right center field as well. Not as deep as the last one. Coming in and making the catch is Pena. Tagging is McGarry-Doyle. Head for a slide, and the throw is cut off. Great job by Noel McGarry-Doyle tagging up on that shallow fly ball to right field. Here's Nolan Macabrota. So one out here in the bottom of the third.
We're talking to Noel McGarry-Doyle after the game Thursday night, and he was excited to be back, but I think he wanted to be the one to provide a spark to this offense, and he surely did. We talked about that leadoff double on Thursday, and his team kind of reciprocated that sentiment in the sense that he is the spark provider for this Barrie Baycats offense.
No question about it, and a prototypical leadoff man with Kenise Ejo here. He hit in the number 2 spot often behind Ejo, but with Ejo not back this season, that gives McGarry-Doyle a nice opportunity to take that leadoff spot, and he got on base 4 times in 5 plate appearances here on Thursday night in his 2025 debut. He represents the tying run, 90 feet away with one out here in the bottom of the third inning. One. Swing and a miss. You mentioned the pace of Juan Benitez and how he really was seeming to pick that up in that top half of the third inning. What a contrast from Fries's Adames, who has really been slowing things down today, especially with runners on.
He was slow right off the hop, too. After the walk that McGarry-Doyle led off the game with, Adames was really taking his time against Malik Williams and Nolan Macabrota after that.
Comes to the set position and often holds it for another few seconds after that. And, of course, no pitch clock here in the IBL, so that's not something that these pitchers need to be mindful of.
We got to wonder how long Chris Piano will keep him in the game, because the last at bat, Nolan Macabrota, he struck out, but he really worked that pitch count pretty high, and 3 more strikeouts since. You got to wonder with the pitch count and taking so much time, having to recover off of a lot of different pitches.
Yeah, the Baycats are fouling off a lot of two-strike pitches today. A couple 3-2 counts in that first inning, despite the fact he struck out the side. Two runs, 5 hits for the Cardinals, 1 run, 3 hits for the Baycats. Adames is ready. Macabroda waggles the bat. Here's the pitch. Pot foul. It lands beyond the trees, and the count holds at 2-2.
I think Macabroda's seen more off-speed pitches in this at-bat than he did the first time around. Could be sitting fastball here.
Two balls, two strikes. Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Adames today.
He was sitting fastball again, just couldn't catch up to it. It's kind of what got him in the last at-bat, too, that he struck out on.
Here comes Tristan Clark. Clark is one of those 5 strikeout victims today. Actually 4 victims, as Macabroda's gone down twice now. Called strike. So far, so good for Adames in this IBL debut. Chris Piano, his manager, has to be happy if he can keep him in the rotation and add that arm that can give you innings and strikeouts. Clark can't connect on that. It's 0-2.
As good as Clark has been the last couple games, this seems to be a trend for him where he takes the first pitch very often and then is very aggressive on the second pitch.
0-2 pitch. In the dirt, check to swing. The appeal, he went. First base umpire today, ringing him up, and that's a called strike 3 from Ryan Jackson. So that'll do it. It's a 2-1 Hamilton lead. We've played 3 innings. You're watching Rogers TV, Baycats TV, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
But he's got that big league approach, so he probably won't hit a ground ball. Wait, oh. Hopefully.
Top of the 4th inning, it's the Baycats trailing the Cardinals by a score of 2-1 as we check in once again with Maddie Gale.
Chris Piano, field manager for the Hamilton Cardinals, pregame was telling me how solid he feels this lineup is this year. Lots of new faces, but it seems everyone's settling in well. Piano spent 5 years as a player for the Cardinals, and he was saying that it's crazy how much the IBL has advanced as a league in terms of opportunities and viewership, and how it wasn't even close to the same when he was playing in the league, but he's excited to see the changes.
Thank you, Maddie. One of my favorite moments last season is we had our music guy play Billy Joel's Piano Man on mound visits when Piano came out for pitching changes, and he didn't seem to mind.
No. I mean, I'm sure he's gotten a lot of piano-type puns throughout his whole life.
I forgot to make a note for that today. I don't know if they're going to clue in on that or not, but we'll see. No balls, 2 strikes. Juan Benitez here against Yulki Pena. Here's the pitch. High and away.
Piano was telling me pregame also that he kind of envies the players that he's managing because they seem to be getting a lot more of the bells and whistles than when he played for Hamilton in his playing career.
In terms of music and stuff like that, you mean?
Well, also the new ownership with Hamilton has done a fantastic job, and
Up the
Kinda
middle,
rejuvenating
the
the
throw, not in time. It gets away from Macabrota. Plumpton there to back it up nicely. So that'll be an infield hit, or maybe an error on the throw. Looks like they're going to put an error up.
First baseman number 44, Tanner Rempel.
And here's Tanner Rempel. So one on for the Cardinals. Tyler Plumpton did a nice job sprinting down that first base line to back up that throw, and that's one of the finer points of the game that fans don't necessarily always see or think of. Back to the mound, Benitez, one play, it's at first in time. Runner advances. So the Cardinals playing some small ball here in this close, low-scoring game.
Left fielder number 10.
Rempel taking advantage of the leadoff reaching on an error from Yolki Pena. It's a great opportunity to move your runner along.
I always love seeing a catcher sprint down the first base line to back up that throw. And
Smart baseball.
Not all catchers do it. I mean, some will kind of make their way down there in case the ball gets away, but you can often save an extra base.
I'm surprised not a lot of catchers do it. I mean, Tyler Plumpton, he's old school. He knows how to get it done.
Sometimes that errant throw can turn into a two-base error, and the catcher can prevent that if he's in the right spot.
They can turn it into another out if the base runner doesn't clue in that the catcher is also backing up the play.
Seen it before. Pena at second base, one out. Nico Kuketos, the left fielder, and number 8 hitter. Here's the pitch. Bounces up to the plate. Plumpton is on it, looks the runner back. Well, this is the 5th season now that Juan Benitez and Tyler Plumpton have worked together, and what a battery they are. Benitez checks the runner and deals. And it's a ground ball to short. Hernandez thinks about third, makes the throw to first instead. Smart play to get the sure out at first. And Kekos is retired. Pena makes it to third.
Second baseman number 25, Tommy Reyes-Cruz.
Talking about the relationship between Benitez and Plumpton, it seems like a lot of the starting pitchers on this Baycats roster trust Plumpton very much because, you know, I've mentioned he's a veteran catcher, but there seems to be some kind of rapport with guys like Juan Benitez, Cesar Rosado coming in last year. Something about Tyler Plumpton as a receiver and a game caller that these guys really like about him.
Well, he's been here a long time. He knows their pitches, and the trio of Garces, Rosado, and Benitez have been together for a few years now, so he knows oftentimes what they're thinking and what they want to throw in a certain situation. And obviously has a front row seat to what's working and what's not. 2 balls, no strikes. Benitez with a pitch. Gets the called strike. 2-1.
Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all.
Cardinals batting. We're in the top of the 4th. They're up 2-1. Fouled away. Benitez with a pair of strikeouts this afternoon, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. 2-2 count here to Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Here's the pitch, and it's popped up. Playable, left side. Noah Hull in foul territory, makes the catch. 3 outs for the Cardinals here in the top of the 4th inning. Baycats coming to bat, trailing by a run. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
Highview Contracting Group in Barrie and Simcoe County, offering award-winning hardscape, interlocking, pools, excavation, and more. Call 705-985-7669 or highviewcontracting.ca.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Fourth inning of play brought to you by Vintage Throne Barber Lounge, redefining gentlemen one community at a time.
Willie Garcia to lead it off for the Baycats, bottom of the fourth inning. Matty Gale, Julius Hern, Ben Davy here at the ballpark, Athletic Kulture Stadium. A chilly Saturday afternoon, but a little more sunshine than we had at game time. Garcia 0 for 1 today. He struck out to end the first inning. The third of 3 consecutive strikeouts from Fries's Adamas to get out of a jam. The Baycats got the first 2 runners aboard and could get no further. Adamas with the half untucked shirt on the right side. I'm surprised that doesn't happen to more pitchers throughout the course of a game. The back of that shirt getting untucked.
Well, it seems like he did that he's done that on purpose, at least so far, because I'm sure he would have fixed it.
Never seen an umpire tell a pitcher to tuck his shirt in, but I have seen umpires ask pitchers to make other adjustments, like jewelry, making sure the jewelry's tucked into the shirt.
Color of a glove or something like that, or an arm sleeve.
I guess there's no rule on the untucked shirt, though.
I've seen it in basketball plenty of times where a referee will ask a player to, hey, tuck in your jersey.
Yep. 2-1 pitch. On the ground, right side. Nice backhand play by Reyes Cruz. Makes the throw and is picked out of the dirt by Rempel.
That ball really slowed down as soon as it hit that infield grass. It looked like it was hard hit off the bat of Garcia, but really settled down nicely, and Tommy Reyes Cruz was able to make a nice backhanded play to get the out.
This is Noah Hull. Second-year Baycats. Looking to reach base for the first time today. Well, this middle part of the Baycat lineup really hasn't done anything so far today. 3 through 8. None of them have reached base safely. Number 9 hitter Francisco Hernandez got on and scored. And McGarry Doyle and Williams have each reached base, but nothing from 3 through 8 so far. Halfway through this game.
Well, Adamas really started out Hull strong. That nasty curveball to start out the at-bat. It kind of caught Hull off guard. He kind of a check swing.
2 balls and a strike. Hull has this little habit of, see what he's doing there with his right arm. He does that quite a bit before he settles into the box and gets the bat in position. Just sort of getting that right arm ready. 2-1. Inside part of the plate, but it's called a strike.
Well, Hull was really feeling the weather pregame in the sense of how chilly it is on the field. He was like 4 layers in terms of his like warm-up attire.
Could be a circulation thing with that arm. It'd be interesting to ask him what's the rationale with that little motion that he makes. I think he's done it every pitch in this at bat so far.
Yeah. Seems very routine in his, in between pitches, stepping out of the box, kind of leveling out the batter's box surface.
Could also be just to kind of work the extension of that elbow or shoulder. Called strike 3. Berkeley has been calling that inside part of the plate this afternoon, and Hull is frozen for the strikeout.
And Hull knew it. That breaking ball that Adamas started him out with comes back to bite him again. Gets him looking. 7 strikeouts already for Freesis Adamas, his IBL debut.
Very impressive. Here's Austin Boylan. He has a strikeout to his name today, making his IBL debut. Adamas tugs the cap. Takes the long look in. Winds and deals. High fastball. 2-0. Baycats trailing by a run, looking for their second win of the season. 1-4. Pitch from Adamas. A high pop-up right above us. Out of play.
Boylan got beat with a fastball his first at-bat up high. Was really patient up in that at-bat until that point.
High and in, and he lays off. It's 3-1.
It was that pitch exactly that got him on the strikeout pitch in the second inning.
Adamas is retired 5 in a row. 3-1 pitch. High fly ball, left center field. Kaketo's back. Reaches up. Can't come up with a catch. It drops against the fence on the track. Picking it up is Duncan. It's a stand-up double for Austin Boylan.
Get the baseball out to the dugout. That was the first IBL hit for Austin Boylan. Looked like it was almost going to carry out of the ballpark with the way the winds are going today, but Kaketo's just couldn't come up with it. He had an opportunity to beat on it at the warning track.
Andrew White will hold on to that ball for Boylan, and he'll have a nice memento to take home after the game. So congratulations to Boylan on his first base hit in the IBL, and it's a double. Freesis Adamas snapping that streak of 5 straight that had been retired. And here's Tyler Plumpton now with a man in scoring position. First pitch, it's a called strike. Have to wonder on a calm afternoon how much farther that ball might have gone. Wind still blowing in and from right to left as we speak. Swing and a miss. Plumpton out in front. No balls, 2 strikes.
Plumpton hit over 340 last year. Was in 26 games. Was very reliable behind the plate, but also at the plate for the Baycats. Kind of an underrated member of that lineup throughout the year.
0-2 from Adamas, and it's hit to center field straight away. Duncan, a couple steps to his right, makes the running catch. So another shutout inning for Freesis Adamas, and the Baycats still down 2-1 through 4. Julius will call innings 5 and 6 when we return. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
For the Baycats in the 4th inning.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
Top of the fifth inning, Athletic Kulture Stadium, and it's a 2-1 Hamilton Cardinal lead over the Barrie Baycats. And top of the order for the Cardinals will come up Brendan Nickel, Tyler Duncan, and Jonathan Salazzo against Juan Benitez, who enters his fifth inning of work.
Yeah, this will be the longest outing for Benitez so far this season. He worked 4 innings against Toronto, the season opener here on May the 15th, and then against London he worked just 2 innings.
Called for a strike to Nickel. It seemed like the rain out for when the Royals were supposed to be here that really kind of set the pitching plan back a little bit. Ground ball, Noah Hull playing shallow on the infield, third baseman on to first in time for the out.
Center fielder number 5, Tyler Duncan.
So I'll bring up Tyler Duncan, the former MVP, 2023. Fantastic year with the Hamilton Cardinals. Still 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, Josh Matlow, the Baycats manager, has shown a lot of trust in Juan Benitez in situations in seasons past and letting him stay out there and getting as many innings as he can if he's rolling along.
Slash foul left side.
And often with Juan, he does get better as the game goes on. We saw numerous times last season where he'd have a shaky first or second inning and then settle down nicely and just cruise through the rest of the game.
It seemed to really be a trend for him in 2023 and a little bit early on in 2024. That one in the dirt.
Looking for his first win of the season here in 2025.
One. Inside to Duncan, 2-1. Duncan last year hit .339 with 6 home runs, 27 RBI for the Cardinals. .355 his rookie year in 2023 MVP year, pardon me. That one grounded to second. Boylan on a backhand, nice play over to first. Back-to-back retired for Juan Benitez here in the 5th.
Yeah, Boylan doing a really nice job defensively here today in his IBL debut. Thought maybe he would be starting at third base today, but a guy who can play a number of positions, and he'll get moved around and plugged into various spots defensively this season.
Yeah, he's committed to North Dakota State, NCAA Division I program, actually playing in the NCAA tournament today, the Bison, like elimination game against Kansas. Got drawn into the Fayetteville Regional and lost to Arkansas yesterday, the actual favorite to win the College World Series, entering the field of 64. Benitez works quickly. That one's foul tipped in the glove from Salazzo.
Salazzo made one of the IBL's defensive plays of the year in 2024. A catch right here at Athletic Kulture Stadium at third base as he went head over heels over the fence down the third base line to catch a foul ball. And
that was in the playoffs too, a time when the Maple Leafs were, had their backs against the wall and about to get swept.
Literally did a somersault over the fence.
It was an incredible play.
And he wasn't getting any help from the fans here on the road.
Benitez has him 2-2. 2 out here in the 5th. Salazzo, a mammoth home run, is the difference in this game. That one earlier on in the 3rd. Takes that pitch just inside. Patient take from the veteran.
Boy, how do you take that pitch on a 2-2? Salazzo watching it right into the glove. All the confidence in the world.
3-2 pitch, fouled away and out of play. The winds are really starting to swirl here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. I mentioned we could be seeing gusts of between 40 and 60 kilometers an hour today.
Yeah, this wind has to be well over 40 right now as those flags That's as strong a breeze as you will find here. Certainly the windiest day at this ballpark so far.
3-2 called, strike 3. Brought to you by IMP North. Juan Benitez, a huge strikeout of Jonathan Salazzo to get out of the 5th inning. Goes 1-2-3 to the top of the Hamilton Cardinals order. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up right here. Baycats TV, Rogers TV, and Cable 14.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
19, right-hander Corbin Peters.
Okay, to the tag. Bottom of the 5th inning here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's brought to you by One-Eyed Jack Barrie. Bring your same-day Baycats tickets before or after a game and get 10% off your bill.
2-1 Hamilton as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. Francisco Hernandez will lead it off. 9-1-2 for Barrie against a new pitcher in the ballgame for Hamilton after one of the longest pre-inning warm-ups I might have ever seen. It's Corbin Peters.
Yeah, Peters took. I wish we had the counter on those warm-up tosses because what do you think? 15 or 20 warm-up pitches?
It was inordinate.
It wouldn't surprise me if he got 20 warm-up tosses. And Josh Matlow, the Baycats manager, was out to talk to home plate umpire Jared Merkley, probably asking why. If he wasn't ready warming up in the bullpen, that's certainly nobody's fault but theirs.
Well, that makes me think that could be an injury to the starter, Freesis Adamas, that just happened to be in the between innings.
Well, he had retired 7 of 8. Certainly wasn't having any problems on the mound that we could see.
Ground ball left side. That's a fair ball past Jonathan Salazzo into left field. Hernandez digging for 2. Here's the throw from Kaketos. It is not in time. Lead-off double for Francisco Hernandez, his second hit of the game.
Well, Brandon Nickel with the swipe tag, and if that ball had stayed in his glove, it would have been close. Would have been interesting to see whether he could have got the tag on him in time. But again, a nice piece of hitting by Francisco Hernandez after a bit of a slow start here in his first season in Barrie. He's come through with a big afternoon so far. 2 hits and 2 at-bats.
Small sample size, but it seems like this number 9 spot in the order for him is really paying off. And setting up the top of the order well. Noel McGarry-Doyle due up against Peters.
Well, that kind of seemed to be the turning point for him after 3 games where the offense, really the whole team, the offense looked pretty light. And Francisco came out with a big Thursday night game here against the Barnstormers once he hit that number 9 spot in the order.
So Noel McGarry-Doyle facing the right-handed reliever Corbin Peters. Runner in scoring position, Jonathan Salazzo playing shallow. As they drive out to left center field, Kaketos settling underneath it. He makes the catch. Hernandez, no tag. First out of the inning for Peters.
Just going back to those warm-up tosses once again, it just got to the point where everybody was getting frustrated and confused here at the ballpark and wondering how many throws he was going to be allowed to take. It looked like the home plate umpire basically just said, take as many as you need.
Yeah, I gotta ask Josh Matlow, the Baycats manager, what he asked Jared Merkley, the home plate umpire, because it was extraordinarily long.
There was no limit. Like it didn't look like there was a number set. You know, if the Cardinals had have said, well, can he have, 12 pitches or 15 pitches? At least there's a number to it. It looked like they just said, throw as much as you want.
Well, they usually try and keep a timer in between half innings for pre-inning warm-ups for pitcher, whether they're already been in the game or they're new. Peters up 0-1 on Malik Williams, Baycats DH. Right back to him. Peters looks at Hernandez. He's at third. Throw over to first is high, but Tanner Rempel casually makes the play and records the out.
Peters had plenty of time to make that throw. And it was a high one. A lot of pitchers struggle with those throws over, but
well, so casual for Rempel. He almost gave up a base to Francisco Hernandez, who was thinking about rushing for home plate there, but decides against it. We'll bring up Nolan Macabrota, who I'm sure is happy to see a new arm in front of him, striking out twice against Freesis Adamas, who had a very nice first IBL appearance.
Yeah, allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. Really about as perfect an afternoon as you could ask for in your debut.
7 strikeouts, just 1 walk in 4 innings for Adamas. Curious to see what his pitch count ended up totaling up to. The 0-1 is fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, unfortunately for Adamas, I guess won't get credit for the win, working only 4 innings today, but certainly did all he could and put the Cardinals in a good position.
Well, Corbin Peters is his second appearance of the season, and just 2 clean innings before this. Mentioned a lot of washouts for the Cardinals so far this year, so not a whole lot of innings between their relievers.
I think he thought he had strike 3 there. Took a little bit of a hop and a skip off the mound on his way to the third base dugout and didn't get the call. It's 1-2 now.
Pitch from Peters, ground ball, second base. Throw on to first is in time. Runs will not score. Hernandez stranded at third, met the Macabro to ground out. We go to the 6th inning, 2-1 Hamilton on Baycats TV, Cable 14 and Rogers TV.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
.ca. Two small men with big hearts moving. Your original Canadian two-men movers. When you think two men, think with big hearts.
2-1 Hamilton. Entering the top of the 6th inning, it'll be Matt Hildebrand to lead it off for the Cardinals against Juan Benitez, back out for 6th inning of work.
Great job by Benitez so far this afternoon. He's really found his rhythm. He's not allowed a base runner since a double in the 4th.
Yeah, only one base runner reached on him in the last couple innings, and that was on an error by Brandon Hernandez. That ball is driven into right field. Over is Willie Garcia making a running catch for out number 1.
So I was thinking about going to the Rogers Center tomorrow afternoon, Julius, to see the Blue Jays, and they're playing the Athletics. And I'm just trying to think back. I think it might be the only time that I would have ever seen a sports event involving a team without a city or location of any sort in their name.
Very interesting.
The Athletics.
Because I know that a lot of broadcasters have already slipped up on that throughout this young season, saying they still say Oakland.
It feels like they're the Oakland Athletics, but they're not playing there. They're playing in Sacramento, which really isn't their home. And it looks like the franchise, the organization itself, really has no interest in making any sort of connection with the community in Sacramento. They're only going to be there for 3 seasons, which is a long time. But they're on their way to Las Vegas.
Vittini hit with that pitch. He'll take first base. Looks like it just grazed his arm or elbow guard, potentially.
So I've seen games involving teams without names, cities but not names. Utah Hockey Club, you know, the
Washington football team.
Washington football team before they became the Commanders, right? There's been some other examples of such, but this is a rare example of a team without a location, city or state.
Pena takes a first pitch strike. Looks like he caught the zone a little on the lower end. So first base runner allowed by Juan Benitez since the 3rd inning. That was a home run by Jonathan Salazzo.
Yeah, the error, Pena reaching on the error, the only other base runner.
Vittini goes, a throw down the second is in time. What a throw by Tyler Plumpton. So immediately that base runner is erased, 2 down.
Well, Plumpton saw Vittini all the way and unleashed an absolute cannon to throw him out of second base. Right on the money.
One catcher throwing out another. Makes this inning a little bit easier for Juan Benitez, but that ball is driven long into the trees. Will it stay fair? It is not. It is foul.
And the wind actually knocked that down, even though that was an absolute, he crushed that baseball. That wind is blowing in from right field, and I was surprised the ball actually bounced off the top of the fence in foul territory because it looked like it was going a lot farther.
The 1-2, fouled away. Looks like it chipped off his top of his bat a little bit.
Like, did that not look like it was headed for the other diamond
It
beyond
did.
right field?
It looked like it was potentially deeper than Salazzo's home run, just in terms of the distance over the fence, but
ended up landing close to the Baycat bullpen.
So Pena off to get a new bat. A foul ball went off the top and chipped off a little bit of the wood near the cup.
So that tells you how much Salazzo crushed that pitch with this win today.
So Benitez up 1-2, 2 out. The pitch, foul off again. Yolki Pena doing a nice job extending this at bat.
Well, as we mentioned, Pena had the big hit last night, driving in 2 to make it a 3-0 Hamilton lead. And they needed all 3 of those runs last night.
1-2 again. Plumpton couldn't hold on. It looked like it might have caught the zone, but Jared Merkley not giving him the call. So 2-2. Pena singled and scored in the second inning, reached on that error to lead off the fourth. Takes another pitch outside, counts full.
Yeah, Benitez has not allowed a hit in 11 at-bats. A hit batter and an error, the only 2 Cardinals to reach base since that Salazzo home run.
3-2. There's a deep fly ball. This one will stay fair, and it will die in front of the wall. Willie Garcia making the catch to end the inning. Juan Benitez gets out of another potential jam, but Baycats still trail by a score of 2-1. We'll be back in just a moment on Baycats TV, Rogers TV, and Cable 14. No, just roll the biz.
Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Maddie Gale, now.
Austin Boylan is playing his first ever IBL game tonight. He got the call in pregame at BP. He told me the first words he actually said to me, I was standing beside him, was time to lock in. He told me that he's been training, he's been prepping, and he's been ready for this day. He did his first at-bat and got his first hit of his IBL career. We got him on video when Josh Matlow told him he was going to be playing in his first game.
But he's got that big league approach, so he probably won't hit a ground ball. Hopefully we can get another ground ball here, get some content. Oh, Matlow's calling. Oh, I don't know.
Why aren't you getting with the group? With the IBL boys, you're playing it.
Oh, got you. I didn't know I was starting.
Now you know.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I didn't know that.
You're going to play second base.
Second base, yeah.
Okay.
I got you. Let's get it. First IBL start.
Sixth inning is brought to you by Moving.ca. 2 small men with big hearts moving, your original Canadian 2-men movers. When you think 2 men, think with big hearts, your Canadian choice.
Cleanup man for the Baycats, Tristan Clark, leading off here in the 6th. against Corbin Peters. Out for his second inning of work. 2-1 Hamilton. Ground ball foul left side.
25-year-old Ottawa native has done a nice job coming in for Freesis Adamus, who was spectacular today through his 4 innings of work, holding the Baycats to just a run. And Peters came on and got 3 up, 3 down after the single by Hernandez to start the inning.
That went well outside in the other batter's box. Clark lays off, 1-1.
Peters pitched for Grambling State. 5th season with the Cardinals here in the, or 3rd season, excuse me, with the Cardinals here in the IBL.
That one catches the outside part of the plate. Clark, twice a strikeout victim of Freesis Adamus. 1-2, that one's well inside. Clark, a big home run yesterday, as we mentioned. It's really come alive offensively his second week as a Baycat. He flares that one out right side, but it will land foul as well. Steps right back in. Doesn't need a lot of time in between pitches, does Clark. 2-2. Fly ball. This one will say playable. And the catch is made by Yolki Pena, 1 down.
3 straight fly balls to right field going back to the top half of the inning. This Cardinals pitching staff has to be considered one of the best in the IBL. I think the question mark with this club is the offense. And they do have some big bats in the lineup, but can they do it consistently? They had that 9-8 win over the Brantford Red Sox where everybody was firing on all cylinders, but a lot of close, low-scoring games since where the offense has been few and far between.
First pitch to Garcia in there for a strike, and it seems like, as of right now at least, Owen Boone is the only one that's really been stretched out as a starter. A lot of the innings has been spread out around the entire staff. Nobody else aside from now Freesis Adamus and Owen Boone with more than 3 innings pitched this year through the young Cardinals season.
Yeah, that just gives you an idea of the depth that they have on that pitching staff. They don't have to rely solely on just a select number of pitchers.
0-2 to Garcia, down the third base side, diving stab by Salazzo. The throw on to first is wide. Garcia will head to second base. Great play for Salazzo to keep that on the infield, but the throw is wide and allows another bag to Willie Garcia.
Well, John Salazzo is one of the few third basemen in the league who make that play. What a great diving effort. And I always hate seeing a infielder get charged with an error after making a great effort, a great diving effort to come up with the ball to begin with. But that will be a throwing error on the third baseman.
This will be the second time already with Peters having a runner on behind him at second base. Opportunity for the bottom of this Baycats, or really the middle of this Baycats order, to finally get something going.
That ball was absolutely scorched off the bat of Willie Garcia. And most third basemen in this league, that ball just gets by them down the line.
First pitch to Noah Hall is up high.
Now Salazzo came in a few steps. Not quite on the infield grass, but he was close.
Three through 6 in this Baycats order, 0 for 11 so far today. 1-0, fouled away.
I think if you had a faster runner at second base, this might be a situation where you would think about laying down a bunt, but with Garcia out there, not quite sure that they're going to do that in this situation with Hall at the plate. Pretty good hitter.
Cardinals surely aren't expecting it. More traditional depth on the infield. Salazzo playing a little bit shallower at third base level with the bag. The 1-1, up and in.
Yeah, Salazzo came in a few steps on the first pitch, but he's kind of back to the more traditional position now.
Noah Hall flew out to left field leading off the second. Struck out in the fourth. The 7th strikeout of the game for Hamilton starter Freesis Adamas. There's a fly ball to left center field, slicing. Nico Kakados will make the catch, 2 down. So I'll bring up Austin Boylan. First IBL hit his last time up was a double off of Adamas. Opportunity for his first RBI with Garcia at second.
3 through 8 in this Baycat lineup, 1 for 15 today. And that was the double by Boylan. Garcia reached on an error. So only 2 of 16 have reached base.
And Tyler Plumpton, who's on deck, already 0 for 2. Much of the production coming from 9, 1, and 2 in this Baycats order. The 0-1 is in the dirt. It's blocked by Vittini.
Yeah, again, the Thursday night was really the only game we've seen the Baycats so far have a balanced attack through the lineup, top to bottom. Different players have contributed on different nights, but this, again, so far this afternoon, seems to be one of those games where there's a chunk of the batting order here who just haven't been going.
Fly ball right field slicing towards the corner. But over to make the catch is Yolki Pena to end the inning. So Baycats strand another runner in scoring position. It's still 2-1 Hamilton as we go to the 7th inning. Ben Davy back to call this one for you on Baycats TV, Rogers TV, and Cable 14.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Highview Contracting Group in Barrie and Simcoe County, offering award-winning hardscape, interlocking, pools, excavation, and more. Call 705-985-7669 or highviewcontracting.ca.
Six innings in the books here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Ben Davy, Julius Hern, Matty Gale. And it is a 2-1 Hamilton lead. Another close, low-scoring game between these two ball clubs. We saw that last night at Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium in Hamilton, which ended up being a 3-2 Cardinal win. They're in the driver's seat leading 2-1 here this afternoon. Bottom third of the order, Rempel, Kakatos, and Reyes Cruz.
Rempel struck out by Benitez in the second.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Rempel was struck out in the second inning by Benitez. Later had the sacrifice bunt in the fourth. The last 3 innings have gone by very smoothly for Juan Benitez.
Manager Josh Matlow hasn't had to use his bullpen a whole lot this weekend so far. We mentioned this is the 3rd game in 4 days, and he was really happy to get through Thursday night's win over Chatham-Kent using just 2 arms. Cesar Rosado followed by Brad Grieveson. Grieveson actually had a better line than Rosado did coming out of the bullpen. To short, Hernandez with the throw is in time. 1 out here in the 7th.
Yeah, Brad Grieveson, the 4-inning save, 4 strikeouts for him in that relief appearance. And I've seen him kind of move around the Baycats bullpen a little bit in the last inning and a half or so. So he could be the one to come in and replace Juan Benitez should the time come. But Benitez has done a great job thus far. Just 5 hits.
Garces pitched 8 innings last night. They didn't need the bullpen. So there are arms down there to use today. First pitch strike to the number 8 hitter, Nico Caquetos. Again, the Baycats in Kitchener tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m., Jack Couch Park. If you're looking for a Sunday afternoon baseball road trip, little check swing there, and it's into the trees. Cardinals host Guelph tomorrow, 2:05, with Reed Duffy and Niels Ruastawa on Cable 14 in Hamilton. Over the second baseman, into right field, base hit. Second time today, the Caquetos has reached base. 2 for 3 this afternoon.
They had that hit in the second inning. It ended up being stranded at second.
Baycats have just 2 games next week, so after a very busy 4-4 this weekend, next week, Welland is here on Thursday night, and then it's the London Majors at Labatt Park on Friday night for the Baycats.
The weekend off will kind of leave an opportunity to the Baycats' new junior team.
Runner goes and is fouled away.
Baycats' new junior team will open their season next Saturday here against the Hamilton Junior Cardinals.
I had to take a second look at that because it seems strange having a Saturday and a Sunday off in the same weekend for the Baycats. A bit of an anomaly in the schedule, but that'll give these fans and the whole Baycats organization a chance to enjoy that inaugural game here on Saturday with the 22U team making its debut. That's a strike and it's 0-2.
Yeah, surely a big day for the organization. It's going to be, I'm hoping, a big crowd for sure. Another 4:05 afternoon game, so nothing out of the ordinary for a usual Saturday Baycats game in terms of scheduling.
Fly ball center field. And it'll be the left fielder running in front of the center fielder to make the catch. Tristan Clark. Retiring Tommy Reyes-Cruz, 2 down.
Shortstop number 32.
So we're back to the top of the order for Brandon Nickel.
And still yet to reach base today, Nickel. Flew out to center twice and grounded out to third base in the 5th inning.
The runner at first is Nico Caquetos. Here's the pitch, swinging, right field. Long way for Garcia to go. He can't get there. Picks it up on the line, makes a good, strong throw in. Advancing to third is Caquetos. That is a long single for Brandon Nickel.
Willie Garcia played that ball perfectly, cutting it off before it got near the warning track, and a nice spinning throw to get that ball in quickly. If he decided to set his feet in that moment instead of kind of throwing on the move, that he might have allowed an extra base to Caquetos, which would be to Nickel.
Not a speedster, but he gets around that outfield quickly for a big man, and he is a big league outfielder. He knows how to track those balls down. Runners on the corners now. First test for Juan Benitez in quite a while. He had base runners to deal with in the second inning. And this one hits a left field. Clark going back at the track, reaches up and makes the catch. So crisis averted as the Cardinals strand a pair. Stretch time here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
For the Cardinals in the 7th.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Baycats on the wrong side of a 2-1 score here at Athletic Kulture Stadium, and they will face the Cardinals' third pitcher of the afternoon, Hamilton's Stephen Hospital. Hospital, a native of nearby Oakville, joined the Cardinal organization in June of 2024. Product of Niagara University. Helped the Purple Eagles win the NAAC championship over 5 collegiate seasons. And he'll come on here with a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Plumpton hits it weakly, left side, and the ball skips off the glove of Jonathan Salazzo. He has no play. So that'll be E5 on a ball that Salazzo normally would have gloved cleanly.
Well, you surely don't see that from Salazzo very often. Errors in back-to-back innings for the sure-handed veteran.
Yeah, the throwing error came after a great dive to keep the ball from going down that left field line. And that one there just skipped off his glove. Had to charge that ball a little bit, but again, an easy ground ball that he should have fielded cleanly. So Plumpton reaches on an error. Here's Francisco Hernandez. He's 2 for 2 today.
And showing bunt right there. Tanner Rempel is playing in very shallow at first base, but also trying to mix that with holding Plumpton on a little bit at first. See Salazzo now playing at the lip of the infield turf.
Hernandez swinging, and it's off his bat and foul.
Stephen Hospital, a big part of, you mentioned Niagara, big run in the NCAA tournament last year and lost to Oklahoma State early on.
Kicks and deals. Fouled away again. Noel McGarry Doyle, the leadoff man, is on deck. Hospital 6'5", 190.
First appearance of the season. We saw him start a game here last year for Hamilton.
The lanky right-hander to the belt. Takes his time in the set position. Now kicks and deals. Called strike 3, outside corner. On the delayed call from Jared Merkley. So an error and a strikeout, and we're back to the top of the order for Noel McGarry Doyle.
The first time in this ball game that Francisco Hernandez hasn't reached. He had 2 base hits earlier on. Very disciplined, the Baycats. Well, Corbin Peters was on the mound. No strikeouts after 7 against Friesas Adamas. That one their first strikeout as a team since the 4th.
Pitches inside to Noel McGarry Doyle. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 6 hits for the Baycats. This feels a lot like last night's ball game, except the runs came in the earlier innings. But same type of feel here in this bottom of the 7th. Close score and a low score. You know, it's amazing. Years ago, the Cardinals were known for a powerhouse offense and a pitching staff that oftentimes would give up a lot of runs, but they've really kind of transitioned into a different looking ball club in recent years. There's a bunt from McGarry Doyle down the line. It'll go foul.
That would just slice right off the bat. You could tell it was kind of curving towards that third base line. Salazzo knew it too.
2 strikes, so that will more than likely eliminate the bunt scenario here. Unless McGarry Doyle can lay one down perfectly. Plumpton takes a lead. Here's the pitch, and it's hit hard to left field. It's a base hit. Plumpton will stop at second. So 2 on.
Really nice piece of hitting there from Noel McGarry Doyle, kind of inside out a little bit, pushes out to left field. So him being able to hit to all fields is going to be really valuable in that leadoff spot.
And I don't know now with a pinch runner here, or is it still a little early here in this game? Bottom of the 7th.
There's an argument to be made for it, and it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Time is called. Josh Matlow looks like he wants to make a change.
Yeah, he just motioned to Jared Merkley, hey, I want a pinch runner. Luis Beltran, I can see him getting ready. Oh, they're going to give it to Brandon Hernandez here.
Yeah, it won't be Beltran that pinch runs, but Beltran will likely come on for Plumpton to handle catching duties. Brandon Hernandez comes on.
Number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
So Brandon Hernandez, not in the starting lineup today, but they will put him in as a pinch runner.
Again, just to show how versatile this roster is for Barrie.
A called strike to Malik Williams, the designated hitter. He is 1 for 3 today. 2-1 the score in favor of the Cardinals. Baycats have not led in this game today. On the ground to third, Salazzo gloves it, steps on the bag, makes the throw. In time for the out, it's a double play. 5-3 to retire Hernandez and Williams, and the Cardinals are off the field. We go to the 8th, still 2-1 Hamilton on Rogers TV Barrie, Baycats TV, and Cable 14 Hamilton.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Fans from Hern and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
To the 8th inning we go at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's the Cardinals on top 2-1. Let's check in once again with our own Maddie Gale.
Yeah, it's quite rare to see siblings competing against each other at this level, making today's game a unique event. Malik Williams from the Baycats and Josh Williams from the Cardinals are brothers who play on different IBL teams, and today and yesterday they're playing against each other. Josh told me before the game he was happy to have beaten his little brother yesterday, and it gave him some extra confidence. And Malik told me he's hoping to beat his brother today. So a little extra sibling rivalry on the field tonight.
Sibling rivalry on opposite teams, and we have a sibling rivalry on the same team with Brandon and Francisco Hernandez, of course, here in Barrie. First pitch swinging on the ground, and the long throw across from the third baseman. Noah Hull is in time for the out, one away here in the 8th.
Just barely in time, too. The throw from Hull just maybe beating Salazzo by about half a step, because Salazzo was absolutely booking it down that first base line. Even at the little, last step extension towards the bag.
Matt Hillebrand will not hit in this spot in the order. It'll be Josh Williams, the aforementioned Williams brother. He will bat in the number 4 spot. Hillebrand was 0 for 3 today with the fielder's choice. First pitch is inside. Carlos Sano now on to pitch for Juan Benitez. So a quality outing for Juan. Couple of runs on 7 hits. Settled down really nicely. Had a home run off the bat of Jonathan Salazzo. And that one gets through the first baseman, Nolan Macabrota. It's into right field for a base hit.
You can make the argument that might be an error against Nolan Macabrota, and it will be. Just saw that got put up on the board.
Yeah, right through the wickets.
Williams went 1 for 4 in last night's game, scored a run. It's in the starting lineup. He was telling me before the game as well that he came into it thinking he was going to be more of a DH this year, but he just recently was asked to, hey, we're probably going to need you more at first base throughout the rest of the year, and he was like, all right, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he kind of looked skywards as that ball went through his legs. I think he knew that he should have had that one. And a big base runner now for the Cardinals. Brendan Daly comes on to pinch hit for Williams. July Vittini to the plate. Middle infield is Francisco Hernandez and Austin Boylan. They'll be ready for anything on the ground to try to turn 2. First pitch fastball from Sano, swing and a miss.
Third appearance of the season for Sano. He had the 1 start in that loss in Welland. Went 2 innings there. Still, import pitchers still trying to get stretched out a little bit this year. So had 1 earned run on 3 hits in 3 innings so far this year. 3 strikeouts to his credit as well.
The Dominican from San Cristobal. Second year in Barrie. And another called strike. Well, if you're Vittini, his situation here, you got to swing the bat.
Runs are at a premium in this matchup. Talk about last night, the 3-2 final. All the runs coming later on. This one, the runs coming early. Hamilton 1 each in the second and third. Barrie 1 in the bottom of the third.
0-2 pitch. Put it almost exactly where he put the last 2, and that one not called for a strike. Sano wanted it. Let's see if he goes back there again on the 1-2. That last pitch, Sano with a really quick, abbreviated delivery. Once he comes to that set position. See how quickly he gets rid of the baseball. This one popped up, and it's well out of the reach of Luis Beltran off the benches to our left. I think that really can help a pitcher's changeup look even more effective when you have a short delivery, quick, compact to the plate. You pull the string and can sometimes deceive that hitter, especially if he's looking fastball.
Yeah, when he's pitching out of the windup, it's a bit more, traditional, but he really abbreviates his delivery when he's pitching out of the stretch.
Not so much on that one. It was low. Count is 2-2. Each team with 7 hits, but it's the Cardinals with the extra run. 2-1 Hamilton. Daly, the lead at first. Pitch, fouled off. Bettini hit that home run off Frank Garces in the bottom of the 7th last night to lead off the bottom of the 7th. First run off Garces last night. Bats with a man on here in the 8th. Sano looks in. The 2-2 on the ground, weakly, and foul down the line.
I mentioned earlier in the game that last year the Cardinals went 2-7 in one-run games. They're already 2-0 this year, and if the score were to stand today, they'd be 3-0, already breaking their total from last year.
Well, that'll be the difference for them this year if they can win those close, low-scoring games, and so far so good. Last year, as you mentioned, that stat really jumps out at you. They were coming out on the wrong end of those low scores. 18-24, their record last year, finishing 6th. Little flare, middle infield, into the glove of Hernandez, and the throw to first is not in time. Daly had drifted pretty far off the bag. Thinking, I don't know what he was thinking, because that ball was in the air for an awful long time.
You got to imagine that he might have forgot how many outs there were.
Right fielder number 12, Yoki Pena.
Well, that would be the only explanation I can think of, because that was a softly hit line drive. It was in the air for a long time. And he had gone a long way off the bag at first base.
It was definitely an easy catch for Hernandez at short. How long that ball had kind of hung up.
If you're a pinch runner, you absolutely have to know how many outs there are in a close game like this. Don't know for sure that was the case, but it's hard to come up with any other explanation. He did get back in time, but it was close.
This goes to show, like I was mentioning, these one-run ball games, runs are at a premium, especially with what these two teams have showed last night and this afternoon against each other.
These close games come down to one play, one mistake, one clutch hit. Often becomes the story of the game.
When that clutch hit came from this guy right here last night.
Takes the first pitch. It's 1-0. He's reached base twice today. Pena has. Once on an error. He singled and scored on the second. Flied out to deep right field to end the 6th. Cardinals looking to add to their 2-1 lead here in the 8th. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Pena was looking fastball, couldn't connect. 1-1 the count. As the wind starts to pick up again here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's a cold wind here this afternoon.
Surprised we haven't seen a pickoff attempt from Sano yet.
That's a strike. Right down the heart of the plate, it's 1-2.
His last relief appearance was here a couple weeks ago, and he threw made a pickoff attempt in his second at bat in the game when he came in, and he threw it away and it nearly cost the Baycats a run in that inning.
Here comes the crowd behind Carlos Sano with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. High. Count 2-2. Tanner Rempel is on deck, hopeful for an at-bat for the Cardinals here in this 8th inning. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sano to Pena. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brought to you by IMP North, and Sano gets the Baycats off the field with the Cardinals stranding a runner. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-1 Hamilton on Cable 14 in Hamilton, Baycats TV, and Rogers TV Barrie.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Eighth inning of play brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Baycats trying to get something started here in this bottom of the eighth inning. Macabrota, Clark, and Garcia will hit. First pitch strike to Nolan Macabrota. He has struggled at the plate as of late. 0 for 3 here today. High pop up over near the Hamilton bullpen. Quickly 0-2.
Macabrota, Clark, Garcia, and Hall, all the next due up for the Baycats, are all 0 for in this game, all 0 for 3.
Yeah, this middle part of the order has done very little for the Baycats today. 2 through 7. As mentioned, just the one hit, the double by Austin Boylan in his first game. Willie Garcia reached on an error. Other than that, it has been nothing but outs.
And 6 strikeouts across those 4 batters.
This tells you how good the Hamilton pitching has been as well. Freesis Adamas, Corbin Peters, and now Stephen Hospital. Called strike 3. Hospital knew it. Macabrota didn't like it. But he will have no choice but to head back to the dugout.
Well, Jared Merkley has historically been a guy that went behind home plate as an umpire, and Baycats haven't really had the best opinion of him. And with all the strikeouts that they've had today, I mean, not all of them are looking, but Baycats probably don't want to see Jared Merkley behind the plate again.
Well, if it's close, he calls it.
Of course.
And he's going to make you swing the bat. So this one on the ground, right at short. Nickel with the throw. Low, but in time, 2 down. Well, the Baycats offense has just not been there today. Garcia 0 for 3, reached on an error. Again, this is the lineup without Ryan Rio, Adam Odd, Hayden Jaco, a lot of these familiar names that were such a big part of last year's team. We will see them in the lineup more very soon. Kenny Sejo not back this year, so the return of Noel McGarry-Doyle certainly helped.
He's kind of filling that speed power role, that in center fielder role for that matter, that Ejo had last year.
Took Francisco Hernandez a little while to get going, but he's had a couple of better than normal nights. Well, you can imagine how much this lineup would be struggling if Noel McGarry-Doyle hadn't returned.
Yeah, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast how much of a spark he was in Thursday's win against Chatham.
Right at the second baseman, Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Easy toss in time to get Garcia. Baycats go 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. Hamilton will get one more chance to add to their 2-1 lead. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Cable 14 in Hamilton.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Highview Contracting Group in Barrie and Simcoe County, offering award-winning hardscape, interlocking, pools, excavation, and more. Call 705-985-7669 or highviewcontracting.ca.
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Top of the ninth inning, Cardinals on top 2-1 at Athletic Kulture Stadium. I'm Ben Davy, he's Julius Hern. Matty Gale, our field reporter. Delighted to be bringing you some baseball on this Saturday afternoon. Wherever you may be watching, I'm sure it's warmer where you are than where we are today. Hopefully that won't be the case next weekend.
It is a cool, breezy day, and it has been all day long at the ballpark.
I'm not going to complain too much because I know once we get into late July and early August, we are going to be sweltering and complaining about how hot these metal benches are with the sun right coming at us through the side of the press area here.
You know what I was saying earlier, too, like, it's not the temperature as much for me as it is the wind.
It's how quickly summer arrives. That's what surprises me every year. You go from these games where we're like barely double digits to sweltering Humidex readings here in Barrie. It just seems like the transition is so short. 1 ball, 1 strike is the bottom third of the order here for the Cardinals. A called strike to Tanner Rempel. Rempel 0 for 3 today. Sano 1-3 as a rookie Baycat last year. He was used primarily as a closer. He got 4 saves, 43 innings of work in 15 games a year ago.
He was imagined originally at the start of the season as a starter. But then quickly, Cesar Rosado really emerged. Obviously, Frank Garces being that number 1 guy in the rotation. Juan Benitez, sure-handed as he was today, 7 innings pitched. So, got to keep Sano in a prominent role, and that ended up being closer role.
Yeah, it took them a few games last year to figure out he actually seems to be better when you bring him in later in the game. And
we mentioned how Hamilton last year 2-7 in 1-run games, Barrie 8-3 in 1-run games. And a big part of that was, the bullpen and led by this man, Carlos Sano, as a closer.
Well, that's the difference between a team that finishes second and a team that finishes 6th in the standings, winning those close games.
No pressure.
Hit on the ground, down the line, and foul.
We talk about 1-run games, this one being one of them, and Fernando Rodney is warming up in the Hamilton Cardinals bullpen.
Well, I mean, it was kind of one of those things where, I think the fans would be excited to see him, but you don't want to see him because it means you're losing late in the game.
Well, his first IBL game, he blew a save in Hamilton.
Blew the save and got the win.
Yeah, gave up a 3-run homer to Jeremy Veilleux.
Well, we'll take the blown save today if he offers us that, but strikeout for IMP North. Down goes Rempel, 1 away. And now Carlos Sano will face Nico Caquedos.
Caquedos 2 for 3 today, a couple singles, but stranded in scoring position both times he's reached.
Two-1 Hamilton, 1 out, top of the 9th. Here's the pitch from Sano. On the ground, down the line, fair ball. Into left field. He'll try for 2. Caquedos in, the throw, the tag, not in time. Caquedos with a double. And Tommy Reyes Cruz will come to the plate with a man in scoring position. A big base runner for the Cardinals here in the top of the 9th.
Second baseman, number 20.
Well, if in fact Fernando Rodney is coming into this game, you can imagine how much more dangerous he's going to be with a 2-run lead as opposed to just one.
But like I was saying earlier in that opener, he had a 3-run lead and blew it. Gave up that home run to Jeremy Veilleux of the Brantford Red Sox. But you have to imagine, if for whatever reason, if the Cardinals blow it open here against Sano, maybe they set him down. Because they still play tomorrow against Guelph.
Right on that one was Beltran. He grabs it in foul territory. Well, that is true. That's a 3-3 for Hamilton. They did not use Rodney last night. It was Luke Gadzik who came on in relief of starter Owen Boone last night in Hamilton. Well, this is the brightest sun we've had all afternoon as the clouds start to break up down that right field side.
It's like it's playing peekaboo with us throughout the game.
0-1 pitch. That's a strike.
Well, Rodney yet to pitch on the road this year. His only 2 appearances so far, both at home against Brantford and Welland within 2 days. Obviously, I'm talking about the first one. That was a high leverage situation, ends up getting the win. The second one in a 6-0 loss for the Cardinals.
Now, after today's game, will there be any Baycat fans that are looking for his autograph, I wonder? Visiting player, but an ex-big leaguer.
Well, with all the kids in the ballpark, I wonder if how many of them know or have watched him pitch in the majors at all.
Oh, yeah, most of the kids here probably are too young to remember his last outing in 2019. But
that just came to mind for me.
I'm sure a lot of mums and dads will let the kids know, hey, that's a big league pitcher there. Yeah. 0-2. That just missed. Yeah, not by much.
3-time All-Star, 2019 World Series champion. That was his last outing, was in the 2019 World Series.
Fun fact, he was the last active pitcher in Major League Baseball to be born in the 1970s, in that decade.
1977. He's 48 years old.
And he pitched in 2019 and was the only player born in the 70s at that time. So Fernando Rodney and I have something in common. Except I didn't play in the big leagues. Born in the same decade.
Can't relate. Sorry, man.
Sano looks over. Checks the runner. Comes to the plate. Hit on the ground to second. Boylan looks the runner. Makes the throw. Up 90 feet is Nico Kaketos. Well, if you're Hamilton, maybe you take that. Maybe you trade 90 feet for an out in that situation.
Having
back to the top of the order.
Cruz in the 9th spot of this order is super valuable, and it's for plays like that. Kaketo singled earlier in the 2nd inning, and then Reyes Cruz followed that up with a single of his own that scored Yolki Pena. But right there, that 4-3 putout advancing the runner could be potentially the difference of the game if Brandon Nickel can do something here.
Yeah, Boylan looked over at the runner, but there was no way he was going to risk a throw to third in that situation. You take the sure out, stay out of the big inning. And staying out of the big inning was a key for Juan Benitez today, giving up 7 hits, but they were scattered throughout the ball game. So that's what you want to do. You're going to allow base runners here and there. You just don't all want them in the same inning. Hit weakly, back to the mound, Sano. Thought about running it. Now he makes the underhand toss, realizing he was not going to beat Brandon Nickel to the bag, but they execute it 1-3 for the putout. So that'll do it. Bottom of the 9th we go. 3 last chances for the Baycats to try to pull one out here this afternoon. They trail 2-1 through 8.5. On Cable 14 in Hamilton, Rogers TV in Barrie, and Baycats TV on YouTube.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
It's pretty cool.
Bottom of the ninth we go, and it's brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
48 Major League wins, 948 Major League strikeouts, 327 Major League saves, and making his first appearance here at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Fernando Rodney.
First road appearance in the IBL, third overall. He comes in with a 1-0 record and an inflated ERA, but obviously a sample size that not really much to look at. 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 4 hits. 5 earned runs allowed total for them in that IBL debut of his against Brantford in the season opener.
And some pretty bright sunshine right now for Noah Hull to deal with, facing Rodney. And it's a 1-1 count to him. I will always think of Rodney as a Detroit Tiger, where he spent a big chunk of the first half of his career, 2002 to 2009. But you look at the teams he pitched for: LA Angels, Tampa Bay Rays, Seattle Mariners, Chicago Cubs, San Diego Padres, Miami Marlins, Arizona Diamondbacks, Minnesota Twins, Oakland Athletics, and Washington Nationals. I mean, you can imagine the stories he must have from pitching with all of those different organizations.
And he's doing this for the love of the game. Like, he's 48 years old. Like, think about that. That's a long time to be playing baseball at a high level. He was in the major leagues for 19 years.
We have our own IBL journeyman in Brad Grieveson, 44 years old, the elder statesman on this club. Rodney, 4 years his senior. Swing and a miss by Hull. Strike 3, the throw down to complete it. Austin Boylan in his first IBL game, facing a big league pitcher. How do you like that?
Pretty incredible. I'm not sure that when he woke up today, obviously he didn't know he was going to be the starting lineup, let alone facing a 3-time Major League All-Star.
Just watch the kid hit a game-time shot.
Foul ball at home plate. Most of those Major League teams that I mentioned that Rodney pitched for, he was only there for a season. He did have 2 years for the Mariners, the Rays, and the Angels. And as mentioned, his longest stint was with the Detroit Tigers, including one Tigers team that went to the World Series.
Yeah, 2006. Led the league in saves once with 48 in 2014 with the Mariners. He actually had 2 years prior to that, had 48 saves with the Rays.
Who did the Tigers play in the World Series? I think it was the
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yes. The most boring World Series of all time.
2006. To third base down the line, it'll go foul. Gloved by Salazzo. Yeah, it was a fairly uneventful World Series, but it was exciting for Tigers fans because they hadn't been to the World Series since 1984.
They hadn't been to the playoffs since 1987.
Yeah, I remember both of those years very well. And that 2006 Tigers team, boy, it was something to hear that crowd roaring in Motown.
It's Justin Verlander's rookie year. It was Maglio Ordonez in the prime of his career.
Ordonez hit a big World Series home run too, if I remember correctly. And
he had the walk-off home run in the ALCS.
Now, would Cabrera have been with the Tigers in 06?
Not yet.
Not quite. He was still with Florida, I think.
Yeah.
But what a thrill for Fernando Rodney to be a part of all of that. Fastball inside, 2-2.
Really brushing him back. Boylan's holding his own, though.
That one had to be well into the 90s. Probably upper 90s. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's dialed in. Here's the pitch. Throws it outside. The Cardinal dugout wanted it, but that was well off the plate. 3-2.
You got to imagine he's going to be sitting off speed here after a few consecutive fastballs.
You got almost 30-year difference between these two players here right now at the plate. Checked his swing. They appeal. He went. Back-to-back strikeouts, Hull and Boylan. Boylan thought he pulled the bat back. He didn't. He gets rung up by first base umpire Ryan Jackson. 2 out in the inning.
Number 14.
Yeah, you're looking at 25 years difference between Fernando Rodney and Austin Boylan.
That's crazy.
At the plate. I can't say that I've called a matchup between the pitcher and hitter having 25 years difference between them.
Fans really getting on the back of home plate umpire Jared Merkley here after a couple of calls.
This is Lilis Beltran, who's up to the plate for the first time in this game. And he hits this one to short. And the throw across is in time for the out, and the Cardinals win. A 3-up, 3-down ninth for Fernando Rodney, and Hamilton with a 2-1 win over the Baycats on this Saturday afternoon.
First IBL save for Fernando Rodney. See the iconic Archer pose at Athletic Kulture Stadium for the first time in the IBL. And for the Baycats, back-to-back one-run losses to these Hamilton Cardinals. And we saw the offense come alive Thursday, but really stagnant again the last couple games. And got to wonder what the game plan is going to be in Kitchener tomorrow, especially with a lot of the junior players are set to start tomorrow.
And these Cardinal players are fired up, and why not, after, as you mentioned, consecutive one-run wins in this home-and-home series against the defending IBL champion Barrie Baycats. So that'll do it for us here this afternoon from Athletic Kulture Stadium. Thank you so much for joining us. For Matty Gale and Julius Hern, my name is Ben Davy. Good afternoon from Springwater Township.
Next home game is Thursday night. That's June the 5th against the visiting Welland Jackfish. 7:35 p.m. first pitch. You can get